Hello, and welcome to Freedom with Marketing. Today, I want to talk to you how to leverage user-generated content in your email marketing. So in this presentation, we're going to first discuss what leverage means and what concepts like 80-20 mean and how to get the maximum output for the minimum effort, time, energy, and resources. I'll talk about the concept of other people's time and how to leverage this both in your team and also with your target audience, your followers, your customers and clients. And then we'll discuss 5 different ways you can collect, use and leverage user generated content. And then I'll sort of conclude the presentation by showing you actually ways you can actually start to implement this in your own business and sort of how you can start getting results. So let's dive in. So what exactly is leverage? So leverage is, you imagine you have a heavy thing that you need to lift up. You go and stand right next to it and you try and go down there and deadlift it. You probably couldn't do it. But if you put some kind of a pole underneath it and you then use the pole as a lever, you would be able to lift the heavy thing up with a significantly lower amount of effort. That is leverage. So you can use leverage in all aspects of life and business. We're going to focus on the business side of things today, in particular email marketing and social media marketing and those kind of things. So the way that you can do it here is you want to get other people to create assets for you and to create content for you and to do things for you that generate a significantly bigger result than what you could probably do on your own. And you can then implement it in your marketing. And that's what we're going to talk about today. This is basically another variation of the 80-20 side of things. And having user generating content is a big 80-20 side of your business because, one, you get to produce content by real people who are saying good things about your brand and about your products and about your services. And 2, all you've got to do is send an email out asking people to give it to you, and most of them will. And that's how you can get the maximum benefits for the minimum sort of time, energy, effort, and resources. So let's look at the concept of other people's time and getting other people to do things for you. So if you're a business owner, you've probably hired freelancers in the past. You've probably hired contractors in the past. You probably have employees. You have other people manage certain aspects of your business. You might have someone manage your advertising. You might have someone manage email marketing, social media marketing. You might have a virtual assistant that do all the admin tasks. You might have someone that does the bookkeeping and manages the accounts. This is other people doing the things for you. You can do exactly the same when it comes to creating content to grow your brand, for creating emails and for creating social media posts and everything else as well. And so one way that you can do that is if you have a team and people on your team have some kind of specialized skills, you can get them to create content for your channel on YouTube or Rumble, or to create resources based on their skills, providing it aligns in a way with your overarching mission. So an example of that is I work with a client whose mission was I can't remember now. It was to help Pilates instructors become better, happier, and more financially successful. And one way to make someone more financially successful is to teach them basic concepts about money and how to actually think about money in order to make more of it. And then when you do make more of it, to use that extra money to generate more money in the future. And so that is something that I explored testing by writing emails about that, since that's what my area of expertise is and sort of the value that I can bring to this company. So that would be one way of having the team create content that aligns with their area of specialty or expertise, providing it fits under the umbrella term of your mission. In my company, my mission is I want to promote entrepreneurship as a way to show people how to develop the positive characteristics of self-responsibility, accountability, and resilience, so they can then decentralize their personal, business, and financial life to increase their personal and financial freedom in the future. So, one thing I considered doing in the past was I had a member on my team who had a background in cultivating and growing their own vegetables. They have a greenhouse and they use this hydroponic system in order to grow the vegetables. And I considered asking this person to record videos and teach people how to do it, because learning how to grow your own food, where you have a bit more control over the ingredient, it's organic, it's not covered in chemicals and all these things. And also, if you have your own food supply, you're not going to be at risk of any kind of coercion where a government might threaten to cut off your food supply if you don't comply with what they tell you to do, just like what happened in 2021 and 2022. But, that's one. But the person didn't want to do it because she was a bit uncomfortable being on video and camera. But that'd be one way to do it too. So you can find another way is that if you have an accountant or a bookkeeper or someone that creates financial statements for your business, and if you're not doing that, that's probably something you should do. So you can have the numbers and you can objectively make decisions on your sales and marketing and income and all of this stuff moving forward. You could get them to create a resource which teaches your customers, clients, and followers and subscribers how to do their own financial statement and how to read numbers and how to sort of make decisions based on objective financial data. And that would benefit pretty much any kind of person in any kind of target audience. And that would also give you leverage, because if your customers and clients can manage their finances better, they're more likely to spend it in you if they can see it as an investment. So there's just 3 examples off the top of my head about how your team can create content on their speciality. You could also get your team to perform the service to your customers and clients. So if you have a group coaching program, and maybe it's 12 weeks long, which is fairly standard, or 90-day coaching program, you don't necessarily need to be the person that does it. Can pay your team to host coaching calls and work with your clients one-on-one to help them get results, and you can just sort of be involved in it in a relatively minimal way to maximize your time on other areas. You can also get your team to perform sort of the service for you. So the most basic example here is that my company offers email marketing, social media marketing, content creation services, and I'm building a team that can perform this service on my behalf so I can help multiple clients. That's another way that you can get other people to do the things for you. And now, these are the more obvious examples, but how can you get your users, your customers, your clients, your subscribers to create the content for you, where a lot of the time you don't even have to pay for it? And then how can you use that and leverage that to get bigger, better results in the future? That's what we're going to look at next. So let's dive in. So number 1, how to leverage user-generated content. First of all, the most obvious one here is through testimonials, case studies, video testimonials, or long-form interviews. So we'll start with testimonials first. Testimonials can be in the written form or the video form. Both have their merits. One way to leverage this is you can try your best to get your customers, clients, followers, and subscribers even to give you a video testimonial. When you have a video testimonial, you can get a transcript and you can use a text-based testimonial. So you essentially double the number of assets that you have, because if you present your video testimonials on your website, the whole point of having video testimonials, in my opinion, is to use the volume effect. You want to put lots and lots of video testimonials on a page so people can start at the top and scroll down and keep scrolling on the computer and scroll further and further, and they see more and more and more of these video testimonials. They're never ending, they're never going to stop. What this does is this provides enormous social proof, and it gives you authority, and it gives you legitimacy, and it gives you credibility. So with the video testimonials, is anyone going to sit and watch 50 videos and video testimonials? Probably not. Will they randomly select one and watch it all the way through? Some may not. Personally, I don't. I would typically just look at them and look at maybe if I want to dig a little bit deeper, I would look at what the headline is and what they say about it, but I wouldn't actually sit and watch the videos, and I certainly wouldn't watch all 50 of them. And a lot of the time, probably your customers and clients and prospects probably won't either. So your video testimonials, you can go in more for the volume play, and people can actually then watch if they wanted to. They can watch them. If you have text-based testimonials, again, in my experience, and it's just my opinion, people are more likely to actually read what they say. So you can take the transcript from the video and turn that into a text-based testimonial, and then you can also sprinkle these testimonials sort of like as quotes, or sort of said, whatever you want, as snippets as you go down your page as well. That's how you can do that. You can also use your video testimonials in emails. If you put your video testimonial in an email, someone's probably more likely to watch it. You just have to write the copy in a way that frames it, and also choose the video testimonial that aligns with the goal, the purpose, the point of the email. You don't want to put a video testimonial of someone that talks about your email marketing services if someone wants to come to you to build a funnel, because there's a bit of a disconnect. You want to select the best, most appropriate video testimonials that have a nice, smooth segue from the subject line to the copy in the email to then they watch the video and then to your call to action, whether the call to action is a product, whether it's a book, whether it's a service, whether it's to join your membership or whatever. You can also use text-based testimonials in your emails. You can get the transcript from the video and then just literally turn that into an email and turn that into a story and turn that into a success story, and then you put the call to action at the bottom. You don't have to do this yourself. You get your team to do it. That's the way to leverage it even more. The next one on this one, inside this sort of category, is to have your long form interviews. Long form interviews are, in my opinion, again, incredible things, especially if they're done in a smart, strategic way. So before I explain what to do, let me explain why you should do it using a personal example. So again, personal example, you may not be the same, your target audience may not be the same, but it kind of does make sense. And personally, I like to listen to interviews on topics that I'm interested in. So particular topics would be, I like to listen to interviews related to true crime. I enjoy listening to them, where you have the interviewer that I'm basically interviewing and eliciting stories from gangsters and drug dealers and criminals that have spent years in prison. Other interviews I like to listen to and related to my hobbies, so sort of like with ultra run. So I prefer to listen to an interview, a conversation where the host interviews a really successful ultra marathon runner on a certain topic, and then you can listen to their story and you can identify the different tips. And I can sit through an interview and listen to what people are saying backwards and forwards and listen to the stories and sort of get really into what they're saying, much more than when you got one person doing a monologue or recording a video like this. Your customers, clients, subscribers and followers probably, not all, but probably are the same. We humans are built for stories. We're built to listen to a dialogue, and one person talking all the time can be a bit boring. Listening to backwards and forwards, we're biologically built to do it. So if you can interview your customers and clients, especially after you've just delivered this massive, incredible, amazing result for them, where they're saying all these wonderful things, that's a perfect time to do it. You can get them to tell their background, tell their story, tell them where they started, get them to tell and describe in great detail how their life was before you help them get the result. This sort of story here, coming from another person in the form of interview, basically is going to form the emotional connection with the people watching it that are also looking to get a similar result. You can get them to explain the transformation. You can get them to talk about and tell stories about how their lives different now. And if you can do it in a way that's engaging and interesting, you could literally do one of these a week and publish it as a podcast and get people to listen in on a regular basis. And I can tell you with a high level of probability that if you do this and you're selling a service of any kind, or you're delivering results or whatever it is, that over the long term, you will make far more sales by doing this, because people are actually going to consume it. And basically, a long form interview with a happy customer or client is essentially a sales message, but it's not a sales message. It contains all the selling elements if you design it strategically, but the person listening doesn't realize that you're trying to sell to them. So if you do the long form interviews, what I would suggest is you can publish them as a podcast. You can publish them on YouTube as a video. You can put them into a membership if you want. And then you can send one email a week linking to the video. Link to the video. You can timestamp the video and put it in the email so people are going to click and watch it. You can then a few weeks later publish the audio as a podcast, and you can also link to the podcast in another email as well. And then whenever you're talking about a specific topic that's related to what the interview is about, you create it. So get your assistant to create a tracking sheet, put a link to the podcast, put a title, get the points and the lessons and the concepts and things that you're teaching about it. And then whenever you're sending a daily email or running a promotion or doing whatever it is in the future that's related to the topic and concept inside the interview, the results they got, the transformation, you just simply link to it. You record it once. You can leverage this asset over and over and over again from now for years and years to come. So that's the first way to take user-generated content in the form of testimonials, video testimonials, and long-form interviews. And again, just to recap, you just ask people to do it. You get your video testimonials and convert them to text testimonials. You can get the text testimonials and use them as stories in emails, as social posts. You can get screenshots of text-based testimonials and use them on a page. You get the transcript from them and turn them into various success stories, transcripts into case studies. You can create them into a long PDF with all of these success stories that you continue to grow over time. You can do the long form interviews. You can get the long form interviews, publish it as a video on YouTube, publish it as a podcast on podcast platforms. You can get the transcript of the long form interviews, and you've got fodder for emails and social media posts from now to eternity. You get the point. So, number 2, user-generated content. This is in the form of you answering questions. The questions can be about your product service. The questions can be about anything. So I've seen this done successfully by quite a few email marketers in the past. I've also noticed that this type of email typically generates a bigger response when it comes to making sales. The FAQ email, where you're answering common questions and overcoming objections, tend to generate more sales. Or you can have the ask me anything style things, where people can ask you anything and you answer it, which adds the personal touch and shows that you're a human and all of these good things too. So the way that you can do this is you can send an email and you can ask people what questions they have about a topic. They can ask questions about your product or service, which become your frequently asked questions. Or they can join a live session that you might host every now and again, maybe every month, maybe every week, maybe a segment on a live session that you do with people where your users can come and ask you questions and you answer honestly about it and those kind of things. And so the way to leverage that is when people ask questions, if you can get your assistant to collect them into some kind of a tracking sheet and to put the most common questions that are asked about a certain topic on the top of his sheet, all you've got to do is click on the sheet. Oh, okay. People are struggling with topic X. This gives you content ideas to create in order to educate people on topic X or to help solve their problems or help overcome their challenges, so on and so forth. Also, when you can identify common questions that keep repeating themselves, or you have different versions of the same questions, well, that's a perfect thing that you can create a new product on. You can create a training program on it in a weekend and sell that. You can write a book on it, which, there's ways that you can write a book pretty quickly, and have a book published in, well, it might take you 2 weeks or so to write it, but a few more weeks to actually get it published. And you could offer to create a group coaching program based around this specific topic. The options are endless. You just need to have a way to identify what questions about what topics are asked the most, and then collect this data over a long enough period of time. You'll identify the trends, and then you create content, training programs, products, services in order to address it. Another way that you can do this is with the FAQ email. This would be one that you'd send during a promotion typically. So when you're sending emails, you might have daily emails and promotional emails. You probably want to send daily emails for 80 to 90% of the time, which is to educate, entertain, build rapport, build relationships, give yourself authority, share industry news, various things. And then during the promotions is when you're basically hard selling a bit more. So an FAQ email would fit better during a promotional period where you're doing a hard sell. And one way that I've had success using this would be you host some kind of a live workshop. People attend. At the end of a workshop, you're selling a product or service. You then have a pre-written open cart email sequence of 5 to 7 emails, getting people to buy your product or service after they watch the workshop. One of these emails is the FAQ email. The FAQ email is basically a list of 5 to 10 common objections that people have. You identify the common objections by listening to the questions that people might ask in the workshop, or what questions people have when they reply back, or what questions people have in general. You then write an email addressing all of these questions. Each question in your FAQ email is literally the objection that people have framed as a question. For example, I don't have enough time to do this. How can I find the extra time in order to get the benefit from this training program? Question mark. And then you answer the objection. I can't afford it. I can't do this. You get the point. And finally, with the Ask Me Anything questions, if you do this on a live video and you're going to have a recording afterwards, sort of, if somebody asks you something and you allocate, say, a minute to answering it, well, each of these minute clips can become shorts that can be used on sort of social media and YouTube and things in the future as well. So again, all of this here is basically what I would probably suggest is do it on a live format if possible, because from a live format, you can get all of the different assets from it, like the video recording, you can get the audio recording and various things as well. So, okay, let's move on to number 3, user comments. So, user generating content, the first 2, testimonials and answering questions, is where you ask people to give you content, taking people's comments and quotes and using them as a sort of topic and a hook in the email or social post. Is you just get someone to look at the comments that people have, copy and paste them into a document, and then you can create content based around that. Ben Settle did that, or does that, quite effectively. I haven't been opening his emails in a while, so I'm not sure. What he likes to do is when people reply to his emails with some kind of a positive comment or negative comment, he would basically start the email with one sentence to introduce it and say, person X says this. He then puts in quote, the comment in quote. If it's a positive one, he breaks down what the comment is and then uses that as a way to say, he uses the positive comments and the positivity from a customer, client, follower in order to sell his products. If it's a negative comment, he would then use that as a reason to show why the comment is wrong, and then of course use that to sell his products or services. So that's another way that you can do that there. You could also take quotes from customers, clients and whatnot from the video testimonials and use that in the same way, where again, I recently wrote an email for a promotion where I did just that. And I watched a video testimonial and I found a quote in there that said something like, this course really changed my life. I put that as a subject line in quotation marks, and the email was based around that quotation with a link to the video testimonial during a promotion, and telling people that if they want to buy, all they're going to do is click book a call and we can help you get similar results. If you, depending on your personality and your style, you can find comments from trolls or the haters, which are an inevitable and unavoidable part of having a business, and you can just use that to basically make fun of them and do it in a light-hearted way. That's another way you could do that, but again, it depends on your business and your level of professionalism and what your personality in the brand is. So number 4, user-generated content for market research. So this is sort of related to the Q&A one a little bit. And you basically send an email or a social media post however frequent you want to do it. I'd like to do it every quarter. And you basically ask people, what problems do you have? What challenges do you have? What kind of obstacles and roadblocks have you faced? How can we help you solve it? What's the outcome that you want? What kind of results do you want to achieve? Obviously not all of them in just one email or social post, but that's the gist of what you'd put. People reply, you collect all the responses, you get an assistant to go through them and order them in terms of frequency. You can then identify what topics in order for your content planning for your emails and social media marketing and videos and various stuff in the next quarter. And what this does here is, if you do it on a frequent enough basis, you're going to start to build and grow and evolve into a customer-centric business, because you are directly solving the problems that your target audience and followers and subscribers have. Two ways you can kind of consider this is, you can ask questions for people who are buyers or non-buyers. One of the reasons for this is that someone that has bought from you in the past is 10 times or more likely to become a repeat buyer than someone that has not bought from you in the past. This is just a generally sort of stated thing in marketing. I don't have any data to back it up, but it kind of makes sense when you think about it, because if you've bought from someone in the past and they haven't stolen your money and they've given you a product and you've gone through the product and you like the product and you've got a result from the product, well, you've got the trust and all credibility of the person. You trust the person and they have credibility. And the second time, your sort of barriers of, am I going to be ripped off or scammed by someone on the internet, is reduced, compared to someone that goes to become a customer the first time, where there's much more skepticism. So it kind of makes sense. So if you were to ask people that have bought from you in the past what problems, challenges they have, this might give you a better foundation of the research, so that you can create additional training programs, you can improve the quality of your products, or you can create content and training and stuff for people that are more likely to buy from you, compared to someone that might just be a passive follower on Instagram that simply gave their opinions because they saw it pop up and they thought their opinion was important. Because, of course, when you have research and data, some of it is more valuable than others. If you wanted to leverage this in the best way, identify which part of your target audience, which part of your customer and client base generates the most income for your business, and ask them what they want, and then give it to them. So, you can continue to get that benefit. And the final one is the final one of leveraging user-generated content, and that is to use your brand and marketing and content as a recruitment tool. So if you have been in business for a while and you create content on a regular basis and you do it consistently, you're going to generate a percentage of loyal fans. Loyal fans and the people that watch all your content, they really like you, they reply to your email, they're a fan of your brand. So if I'm a fan of your brand, they clearly buy into your mission, vision, and values and different things, which basically makes the most ideal employee or contractor or someone to work for your team. So you could use that as a way to recruit people onto your team as well. I've experienced this myself, of being a follower of a brand and buying all their products and services, and then being invited to work on their team before. Didn't really work out because I didn't really like it, but that's just one way to do it. But the other people that this company hired all come from people that have been associated with a brand for a while, and I would imagine that many of them are still working with this company today, and you can do the same. This might be, you could do this to get people to do your email marketing, your social media marketing, or whatever it is. For example, if you become a fan of Freedom with Marketing and my brand, you might want to enlist my company to do your marketing services for you. If you have a group coaching program, you might want to have your most successful students that have gone through the group coaching program and turn them into trainers or instructors. You can get people that have gone through a coaching program or that you've helped get a result, and they can create content for you inside a lower priced membership. Options are endless, but you can basically use your followers and subscribers and your fan base as a recruitment tool to get people that are going to be super motivated, inspired, hardworking, dedicated, in order to help push your mission and vision to more and more people. So that's it. Those are 5 different ways to leverage user generated content. Quick summary. Number 1 is collect testimonials from them and long form interviews. Number 2 is to do Q&A sessions, frequently asked questions, or ask me anything. Number 3 is to take comments, both positive and negative, and use them as the basis of content in your social posts or emails to showcase the benefits of your products and services, or to show people what not to do, how to avoid this, how to avoid that, and the solution is to buy your product or service. You can use user-generated content to collect market research by sending an email or social post out every quarter or so, asking people what problems they have and how they want, what outcomes they want, and you can analyze this. And you can, and number 5, you get your customers and clients and followers and subscribers who become your loyal fans, and you can turn them into, you can basically hire them and bring them onto your team, because they'll be better, they'll be more hardworking and more disciplined and more motivated than someone you might get from Upwork. And so those are the contents. Now, how could you leverage this in the most possible way? So the way to leverage this in the best way is with all of these. If you do something in video format, you have the ability to turn the video into audio and the audio into text. If you only do things in a text format, it's much harder. You can't exactly turn the text into an audio, and you can't turn the text into a video, and you can't turn any of it into something live. So if you want to get the absolute most out of this, consider doing things live or in video format, and then extracting the different formats from that and creating the different assets from it. And if you can build a system where you're collecting testimonials on a regular basis, video testimonials in particular, if you do customer interviews on a weekly or monthly basis, if you do frequently asked questions, ask me anything Q&A sessions, if you have someone on your team collecting comments and quotes from people on your YouTube or social media or whatever it is and organizing them, and if you do the market research, you will literally have far too many ideas on how to create content that you'll have an unlimited amount of an unlimited supply. And so the implementation of this, what I would probably suggest is you would create a content calendar, a marketing plan, probably for 3 months to start off with, but maybe you want to have 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, whatever it is. You would identify a different type of content for each day. Maybe Monday you want to teach a framework. Maybe on Tuesday it's Testimonial Tuesday, where you share a video testimonial or you tell a success story and you put it in different formats. Maybe on Wednesdays you go live, where you can have Q&A sessions or ask me anything, where you're teaching topics. Maybe on Thursday you want to do an email that's based around comments that people have given you, to dissect the positives or from them, or show why a negative comment is wrong. Maybe on Friday you want to create content based around the market research that you've collected. Maybe on Saturday you have some kind of a roundup email where you just summarize everything from the week. And maybe on Sunday you want to release a podcast, but the podcast might very well be the audio version of a workshop you did on Wednesday in the live session, or it might be the audio version of a long form interview that you've done in the past. And that's how you can create a content calendar on it. And then you'd make the social media posts based on this too. You'd have a separate kind of content calendar for social media, but you'd integrate it all, and every email, every social media post that goes out has a call to action, and then you can track the data on a week to week basis. You can see what generates the biggest response based on what your targets and goals are, what doesn't work, and then you just continue to repeat and test and do more of what works and do less of what doesn't work until you get the results that you want. And so that's how you can leverage user generated content, and that's how you can do it in the most leverage way possible. And that's how you can apply it in your social media, email marketing strategy. And if you'd like any help implementing this system, or implementing a proven email marketing system that uses daily emails using the content from all of this, and to then integrate this with your social media marketing and do it in a way where you're basically going to be tapping into all the potential you've got from your email list, your subscribers, your followers, your fans, and then turning them into customers, and customers into repeat customers and clients and long-term fans of your brand. If you want any help doing this using email or social media marketing, just let me know. The way to contact me is in the description below. And first thing I'll do is we'll have a conversation, and I can give you a few ideas on what I would suggest you do. This may or may not be right for you and your business in your unique situation. I may or may not be able to help you, but if you do like my ideas and you do like my suggestions, we can then explore ways that we can continue working together. That's all for today. See you in the next video.